Well, welcome. Hey, you come on in and have a sit down and sit a spell. I got a great story I want to share. It's a personal story that I want to share with you today. Well, I'm Lou Vickery, and I'm so excited you're here. Oh man, this happened a long time ago. After my baseball playing days had ended, I had the opportunity. I coached a year, but unfortunately, I had been accustomed to making a little more money than I was able to make in coaching. So I took a position with Merrill, Lynch, Pierce, Finner, and Smith, which we know today just as Merrill Lynch. And so I had to go back to New York for training. Since I had no prior business experience, I spent my time actually, I guess the best way to describe that is that I spent my time both in studies in classrooms and also on Wall Street. I had an opportunity to be a runner, if you will, on Wall Street. But one day on my way home from downtown in New York City, I had to take the train to Grand Central Station and make a change of trains there, subways, to go to the west side of Grand Central Park, where I lived. So I get to Grand Central, and just as I get there, I see a crowd of folks, just a lot of commotion, a lot of just weird things happening. Statements like, "Get out of the way, the band is mad." And so when I arrived and was able to look, there was an individual who was having, as I knew it in those days, a grand mal, which is generally a part of epilepsy. And he had already passed through what we know as a tonic stage, which is where you lose consciousness and you fall. And he had fallen on the platform, and it already started his body bouncing, his head hitting. And so I rushed into action. A lot of people, "Oh, leave him alone," but you could hear all kinds of statements being used to describe the scene at that particular time. So I took my coat off and I put it under his head so he wouldn't be banging his head on the cement. And I started the process of doing the best I could to offer him some comfort. Oh man, did he need it? And I took my wallet out and I put it in the corner of his mouth, as I had been trained, to keep him from swallowing his tongue. Now, we call this a clonic stage or phase of a grand mal. And it usually lasts about 4 or 5 minutes. Well, I'm in the process of doing this. I get a tap on my shoulder and I turned, and there's one of New York City's finest. And he said, "What do you think you're doing?" And I remember distinctly what I said. "I'm saving this man's life because he was only 2 feet from falling on the track. And if he had fallen on the track, he would have lost his life." So the officer, I think, understood that I knew what I was doing. It wasn't just a few minutes that helped arrive with the EM people. But I remember distinctly the reaction of people. Also remember this, that we all have different kinds of gifts that we can give. This is a season of giving. I gave a gift I had because I had a talent. But we can give, I think, distinctly 3 different kinds of gifts. We can give actual gifts in the form of presents, money, that type of gift. We can give of our talents, and we can give of our resources. I was given of my talents. What is your perception of giving? By the way, I want to mention that the officer took my name, and a few weeks later, I ended up getting a letter from the mayor of New York, John Lindsay. I also learned the man's name, Mr. Bernstein. I gave what I knew to be the thing that needed to be given at that point in time. May I ask you, what is your perception of giving? What is your purpose of giving? It's not to put you into position to receive more. It's to put you in a position to give more. That's the purpose of giving. You know, we make discoveries of what internal gifts we have when we reach a stage where we think in terms of giving instead of receiving. Because it has been my experience, the more we attempt to give, the more opportunities we have to receive. Giving leads to a personal renewal. Think about it. The more focused we are on giving, the greater is the attachment to our inner spirit rather than to external things. Giving is an action that moves us beyond ourselves, and like a boomerang, it circles back to work real magic in the far reaches of our heart. A significant way to become unbelievably valuable to others is to be attentive to their needs and bring them something, whether it be tangible or intangible, that adds immeasurably to their lives. And by adding to their lives, guess what happens? We add to ours. The way we give is more important than what we give. And always remember this: if you have not given something that you think that you really need, you haven't really given, have you? I wondered, and I think about through the course of the years, the opportunities that I've had to give, both of gifts, talents, and of resources. And I think sometimes that we have to be careful, because when we give something and we're hoping to receive something, that's not really giving, is it? We call that bargaining. We're bargaining for better position. So in this season of giving, I want you to think about, what is my purpose for giving? The epitome of giving is to live by what you give, but you make a life by what you give. I'm Lou Vickery, author of now 24 books. You can catch my Vickery library at awiseword.life/library. Until we meet again, you keep that smile on your face, you keep happiness in your heart, and you keep optimism on your tongue. That's a real gift to everyone. See you soon.